In North America where I live, many people buy their wine at Costco. They offer a great price, a great selection. They have a fantastic private label that their buyers have done an excellent job in developing and providing comparable wines to competitors. Today, I want to break down one of their wines, their Chardonnay, against another wine, another Chardonnay I bought at Costco. Compare them with items you typically find on a charcuterie board. Stay tuned. Greetings everybody, I'm Brian Singh from Brian's Table, and today we're going to have a small battle royale of comparing Kirkland, the Costco brand, their Sonoma County 2023 Chardonnay against another product I bought at Costco, their Wente Vineyards. They're from Arroyo Seco, Monterey, and the Riva Ranch, their Chardonnay. This guy was $14 and this one was $18. Let's see how these two compare and how they pair up with items you typically find on a charcuterie board. First one, on visual inspection, they're fairly close in color. So let's see how that goes. The one thing I noticed with the Sonoma, it is up on the west of Napa. It's right on the Pacific coast. You think about things like Russian River. Really good wines, and it's a prime region for Chardonnay. Let's check out the nose on the Kirkland brand. Oh, rich, buttery, oaky. You get all the typical notes that you would associate with Chardonnay. Whoever has made this wine has followed the playbook of a really solid Chardonnay. I also want to make a note that it's interesting the font that they used here. If you're familiar with the brand Sonoma Chardonnay, that is kind of close. So you can see Costco playing around with some of these branding elements that are somewhat familiar to people who like fine wine. Let's check out the nose on the Wente. Oh, got a bit of popcorn, get the butteriness from the oak. Got a bit more custard and caramel notes here. And almost a sort of a, you know when you're out by the ocean and you pick up a rock and it has that particular smell? Picking up that. So it has a bit of that ocean spray that you're hanging out on a pebbly beach. Really nice. All right, let's see how these two compare on taste. Tastes like California Chardonnay. That's all I'm gonna say. Lemony, buttery, a little cream cheese in there. Yeah, I know it's good. It's quite tasty. A hair too much on the oak for me. You can tell they're using American oak on this for sure. You get that more robust oakiness with just a hint of coconut in there. And yeah, no, it's good. It's quite tasty. Wente, one thing I'm gonna point out here, for a $18 wine, there's a lot of specificity here for what they're offering. They give you the vineyard, they tell you the region, Monterey, really good for wine, and they give you the ranch. Quite amazing. $18 wine. Let's see how it tastes. That's fantastic. I'm gonna say it is lighter in weight than the Kirkland brand, but there's a lot more going on here. There's the butteriness on the palate is tamed. The acid seems to be higher. The complexity and length more. So for $4 more, you're getting a lot more wine compared to the Kirkland brand. Not bad, but much better. Let's see how it pairs up with food. First off, what's typical on most charcuterie boards? Camembert. So I'm gonna try a little bit of camembert with I'm gonna go with the Wente first on this one. Neutralizes, but the camembert comes through on the back end, and the wine is enveloping. A big hug, you know? The wine is giving a cheese a hug here. The wine is not evident, but the acid of the wine is. But because of the richness of this cheese, and you know, camembert is kind of like butter, isn't it? That goes really well. So think about this as a hug for camembert. Let's see how it goes with the Kirkland brand. The oakiness is riding like a hoverboard all across your palate. So this cheese really enhances the oakiness of this. A little bit of chewing a little bit on wood, so not necessarily the most pleasant experience. But if you like that kind of smoky wood flavor in your mouth, this wine you'd like. It seems disjointed in the pairing, where the wine seems to be hovering above the richness of the cheese on the palate. So not completely harmonious. Let's see how it goes with fontina cheese. Fontina, it is a rich cheese, kind of like a creamy, more neutral cheddar. And it's readily available in the supermarket. This time I'm going to try it first with the Kirkland brand. I picked up some really nice aged fontina. Oh, that's really nice. Oh. All right, give it a go with the Kirkland brand. That neutralized the oak. And what came through is that popcorny corn flavor. It does tend to pick up on some of the sweeter and notes. So the front of my palate is tingling quite nicely. The length is still there, but once you get down to the back of the palate, not a lot of engagement, but you do get a sense of the quality of the pairing. Interesting. Let's see how it goes with the Wente. Oh my God. It brings out the herbaceousness of the cheese. And again, a lot of acid, really enhances the acid element on this. If you were to have a fontina and ham sandwich with this, that'd be really nice. So far, the Wente is really doing better with the sort of soft and richer cheeses. Let's see how it goes with turkey. Have a little bit of smoked turkey. And I did pick up the smoked turkey because I wanted to see how it played with the smokiness of the oak that is evident in these California Chardonnays. Again, it neutralizes. The oakiness does seem to have this moment of like a fireworks in your mouth where, it's not necessarily the big cherry bomb ones. It's sort of like the little ones, that come in between the big moments at a fireworks display. The oakiness of the wine is right there up front, but it gets tamed on its length. Not bad, fairly middling in what the experience is. Let's see how it goes with the Wente. Okay, smoked turkey is fairly standard, but this wine became richer with turkey. Again, a turkey sandwich with a nice cheese would go really well with this. So you think about when you're going to be stacking up your charcuterie, with this one, have a bit of turkey, have a bit of cheese, piece of bread. That's really nice. Very harmonious pairing. It really picks up on that meatiness of the turkey. It's surprisingly meaty on the mid palate, so it's sort of, what it's like? It's like a corn dog in that regard, where the meat is in the center and you got this fluffy batter pastry coating, and it's like that, where down the center of your mouth you're getting the turkey, and around it the wine is playing that role of the batter, and it's kind of like a pogo. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's a fun pogo, an adult pogo. All right, I'm going to try this now with olives because I'm kind of curious to see if this stands up to stronger flavors. So I'm going to start with the Wente this time. A little bite of olive. Takes down the sourness of the olives, and the olives make this wine sweeter. That's interesting. It brings out those things like custard apple. I don't know if you've ever seen those things. I know, I'm from the Caribbean. That's why I call it. Mangosteen brings about, think about that type of rich fruit. That's what this is. That's what, it's weird. You take something tart and sour like olive and you put it up against this wine. Very interesting. That's an unexpected pairing. Kirkland brand. Solid pairing. It's kind of, you know, you ever had olives on a frozen pizza and they're there for flavor, but not excitement? That's kind of where this wine is at with the olive pairing. Final pairing, we're gonna check it out against prosciutto, another staple of the charcuterie board. This time I'm gonna start with the Kirkland brand, or prosciutto. Gotta love that 24-month, really clean in flavor. If ever you go to Parma, you gotta check out where they make this. It is olfactory overload of porkiness, all in the cellar where they cure this ham. It's delicious. It's a very unique experience. The wine becomes a little thinner, but it really enhances the porkiness of this ham. You know, if that's what you're going for, that's really good. Otherwise, I'm gonna do an experiment at the end here to see how this all kind of fits together in some of the ideas that I've shared with you. All right, let's see how it goes with the Wente. Do a little bit less than that. The porkiness is evident, but it makes the prosciutto sweet. It's weird. I know it's hard to describe ham as sweet, but this is a case where when the wine is paired with something like this, it creates a whole new experience. So again, the edge on this one goes to the Wente. But I did mention a few things about things that will go together. So I'm gonna give the final test of pairing up a bit of turkey with a bit of fontina. So this is together. I'm gonna have a bite of this. This here goes with the, so we have two things here. Turkey and the fontina. That's a lot more interesting. It really, the meatiness of the turkey against the fontina with the wine becomes the acid conveyor of the flavor of the fontina. The fontina gets dialed up from about 10 to about 12. But that's exactly what I was talking about. This wine requires a little bit more complexity to what the food items that you're going to be consuming. Single food item, maybe a little bit more pedestrian, but as you add more to it, it becomes more interesting. Let's see how it goes with the Wente. You know what this is? This is like a three-man bobsled, right? Not necessarily going to win the gold medal. Let's say a bronze medal, where everybody got together and everybody is evident, the wine, the cheese, and the turkey, and they're just going downhill, having a good time. That's what this wine is. Okay, folks, if I were to recommend a wine here, Costco is a solid choice. But for $4 more, you get a whole lot more of a wine experience. Wente, readily available all throughout North America, and also available at Costco. So when you're at Costco, if you're thinking about the Kirkland brand and you're feeling a little bit more, you're feeling a little richer, give the Wente a try. On all the pairings here today, it is a much more food-friendly wine than this. All right. Thanks again for watching. I greatly appreciate the time that you're spending with me. If you're out there shopping at Costco, do you have a favorite wine? And do you have a favorite pairing with it? Let me know. I may give it a try in a future video. And in the meantime, now that you know a little bit more about how to pair Chardonnay with food, I hope you go out there and taste the world.